Good form might be killing your results. Your good form might be the reason why you're not seeing results. Most of you are probably watching this video because you're trying to accomplish some type of transformation in terms of or improvements in your body composition. Hey, thanks so much for joining me today on this episode of the Chalene Show, where I'm going to share with you some of the really unconventional, uncommon advice that will help you break a plateau. This might be the reason why you're working out, but you're not seeing the results you'd like to see. By the way, I am filming this currently at this amazing outdoor workout here in Sardinia, Italy, this beautiful island that we're staying at. Amazing location. All right, thanks for joining me. Let's get to it. Before I get to the surprising ways that you can break a plateau and see faster results from your workout, let's go over some of the, most common things, just in case. I'm going to go through these very quickly, just so you can make a mental checklist and go okay, I'm definitely doing that. And then I'm going to get to my surprising ways to help you, again, see amazing results quicker. All right. Number one is progressive overload. You know this. You've got to be slowly increasing the amount of resistance, the amount of tension, the amount of the difficulty for your workouts. That should be slowly increasing. Adequate hydration. Are you drinking enough water? Are you giving yourself proper nutrition in order to support the muscle development that you're trying to achieve? Most of you are probably watching this video because you're trying to accomplish some type of transformation in terms of or improvements in your body composition. In order to improve body composition, you have to improve the composition of your nutrients. You just do. So it's tracking your macros for a period of time. I'm not personally a big fan of doing it all the time. If that works for you, awesome. I found for me, it's just not realistic, and I don't want to live that way. I generally know how I'm eating. I generally know how much protein I have, but I could be off by, 10 grams, 15 grams a day. I'm not in bodybuilding preparation mode. The minor details are not that big of a deal to me, but if you are really I need to lose 2% more body fat, all right, that, so be it. In that case, you probably need to be very carefully tracking and monitoring your nutrition, specifically your macros. Are you incorporating enough strength and cardio? Personally, I'm a fan of a lot more strength than cardio. If you've seen my previous videos, in fact, I will link to a few here that will help you understand how I have changed my life, my physique, the way I'm able to enjoy my day by changing the way and what it is I prioritize when it comes to my training. Obviously, when you want to see results, you've got to make sure you're getting adequate rest. That means rest between days. That means rest between sets. That means sleep. Sleep is when our bodies repair themselves. Sleep's when we really do rebuild everything. You also want to make sure that you're, creating variation. If you're doing the same thing freaking every single day and you've been doing it for months and months, maybe years and years, which I was doing at one point, your body's job is to go okay, we know what you're doing and we're not going to change. That's your body's job. It's called homeostasis. So if you're not changing things up, if you're not trying new things, if you're not doing what I like to call undulating periodization, then you're likely going to see a plateau. Obviously, it's very important that you're tracking your progress. So if you're not looking at how much weight you're lifting, if you're not actually tracking your progress, and you don't have to do this on a scale. I can't stand the scale. I haven't been on a scale since the last time I went to the doctor. I probably weighed myself once or twice a year outside of going to the doctor. If that's something that helps you to track your progress, awesome. I don't need it. I don't care what my weight is. My weight can either put me in a good mood or a bad mood, and I think it's irrelevant. I might be up a couple of pounds because TMI, maybe I didn't have a bowel movement, or maybe I had too much sodium the night before, but I want to beat myself up and be down on myself when I look in the mirror and I like what I see, or I like the way my clothes fit. That's all that matters. I don't care about the scale. I recognize that some people really do. In fact, I got a message the other day from a gal who said, that's great for those of you who, are within your goal weight range and you're happy with your BMI, you're happy with your body fat. But for those of us who maybe have a lot of weight to lose, seeing that scale come down a little bit is the motivation that you need. And I was like, touche. So everybody's different, but it is important that you are tracking your progress. I love tracking progress through photos. So I'm always recording videos. I'm always taking photos to be able to tell, is it in my head? Because you see yourself every single day. But when you scroll back and you look through photos from maybe 6 months ago or a year ago, you're like, dang, okay, we're making progress. Or, oh, shoot, kind of let some things slip. And I prefer to track that way. Another thing you can do that will speed up your results is compound exercises. So any exercise where you're using multiple muscle groups at the same time forces you to use your core. It's a quicker way to get to that level of fatigue. It's not the way to like really refine definition and say your biceps or etc., but it is a great way to kind of change things up. Obviously, to think about supplementation. So, I mean, these are the basic ones. These are the ones you already know. And I want to get to the ones that are kind of unconventional, perhaps surprising, things that I have seen with my own clients when I used to be a personal trainer 100 years ago. And in the work that I've been doing, for the last 30 years in the health and fitness industry, I've seen people get incredible results from making these very surprisingly interesting, surprisingly simple tweaks to their program. I've seen them get faster results, better results, and see the kind of progress that you want to see when you're putting in the work. None of us have a perfect diet. Like right now, this is so gross looking, but those are all of my supplements poured into one water bottle. I like taking most of my supplements in a powdered form. That is just like, it's some nutrients, it's for immunity. I've got some BCAAs in there, vitamin C. I've got some stuff for cognition, brain health. So, making sure, like, does your body have the nutrients that it needs? Like, for example, magnesium, in order to produce the kind of muscle that you're looking for. Are you getting adequate protein? And if you're not, and if you don't have the adequate minerals and nutrients in your body, or you're not getting those things from your food, then you've got to consider supplementing. Okay, those are the ones you probably already knew about. Now let's talk about some unconventional, surprising ways for you to get amazing results faster. Number one is looking at your phone while you're working out. I know this seems obvious to you, or maybe you think, well, I don't look at it for that long, but I'm telling you, I'm here to tell you, I have challenged people to do this, to like not look at your phone or only look at it for your playlist. Like turn off all your notifications, turn it on airplane mode, and just see what a difference it makes. I swear every single time I go to the gym, I see people who start a set, and I'm guilty of this too, but I try not to. I see people start a set, and then in between, they're like, I've got like 45 seconds or 50 seconds. I'm just going to check and see if there's any emails I haven't seen. And they don't realize that more than a minute has passed, more than 3 minutes, more than 5 minutes. Like time sometimes stands still when we're looking at our phones. And it's so easy to get caught up in a conversation or start texting and start losing your train of thought. And those extra minutes, number one, are slowing down your workout. Number two, they're making a major impact on your body's ability to put your mind into the muscle group that you're working. I mean, there's been countless studies looking at the body when they hook a muscle up to electrodes and they ask a participant to just do bicep curls and think about anything, or to, look around the room, versus doing bicep curls hooked up to the electrodes and actually looking down at the muscle and focusing on the contraction. Humongous difference. So try not to multitask when you're working out. Like put your phone away. I'm telling you, this one tip is going to make your workouts faster and more effective. Number two, use an incredibly motivating playlist. I don't know what that is for you. Like, no judgment, please, but I like the most raunchy, explicit rap when I'm working out. I just do. When I'm doing cardio, I don't like that. When I'm doing cardio, I like something that like entertains my mind. But when I'm working out, like I am in a music video and I just feel stronger. I will lift heavier. Same thing is true when I'm snowboarding. Like if I have explicit rap on when I'm snowboarding, I'm more fearless. I get more relaxed, which is good when you're snowboarding. But when I'm listening to my playlist, I don't know what your playlist is. Listen, if you're into explicit rap, I will put in our show description a link to my Spotify playlist. Just promise that you recognize I didn't write the lyrics. Don't judge me. It's what I like to listen to. It makes me feel more confident. I tend to lift heavier. I don't take as much time between my sets. It puts me in a good mood. And it's a great way to just forget about work, Like it's really, like if I don't have music on, I'm going to look at emails. I'm going to look at a Slack not Slack. I never go on Slack. Who's kidding who? But messages on WhatsApp or like communications with my team. I'm going to look at Instagram. I'm going to be distracted if I don't have a killer playlist. Get yourself a killer playlist. I don't know what that is for you, but experiment and find the playlist that gives you the best possible mindset, gives you more energy, because energy is everything when you're exercising. My number 3 tip is to film yourself. You probably think you're using good form, but good form is not good enough. Good form might be killing your results. Your good form might be the reason why you're not seeing results. And here's what I mean by that. We think we've got good form. We think we're using good form. But a lot of times what has happened is slowly over time, we've developed bad habits, or maybe you just never even learned proper form. I mean, how did you learn strength training? Did you learn it from a video? Well, is that the right way? I don't know. Because the person who was in the video, did they really know good form? I'm here to say, like, I've seen so many workout videos, very, very popular workout videos from people who have no clue what they're doing in terms of form. They're trying to be creative. They're doing something on video that they've had to perform 17 more reps than they could have. So their form is like, just because you saw somebody doing a video does not necessarily mean that they have good form. Just because you learned it from your brother who taught you how to lift weights doesn't mean you've got good form. Just because your husband has a great physique and he taught you how to lift doesn't mean it's good form. The way to know if you're using not good form, but exceptional form is by hiring a qualified personal trainer, or I might add, there are quite a few YouTube videos that I recommend for form. One of them is AthleanX. I think he's amazing. I haven't watched too many of the AthleanX for women videos, but those videos are exceptional when it comes to form. He really understands biomechanics, the science behind muscle strength and conditioning. I think it's also prudent if you're going to hire a personal trainer and you can't afford to, let's just say you can only afford to do one session. Hire the best, number 1. Number 2 is go through every single possible exercise you can think of in one session. Like do bicep curls and shoulders and back and leg and hamstrings, and do all of the exercises and just say, correct my form. Film yourself. And then you at least know how to do it the right way. And again, this is something that even if you think you're doing it right, I have to say, because I started filming my workouts for my Instagram subscription, now is the time for a shameless plug. If you want to know what I'm doing for strength training every day, head on over to Instagram. There I have an Instagram subscription, and that's all I do. I just show you what I do. You can see how to do it at home or at the gym. I think 99% of my workouts you could do at home with just dumbbells. But I started filming myself doing these workouts, and I would watch, the first little clip back and realize, what am I doing? I thought my form was better, but by watching myself on video, I recognized some things I could do to improve my tempo, my technique, my range of motion. So if you're not, it's just not in the cards for you to hire a personal trainer, that's okay. Film yourself, because once you see yourself on video, you'll recognize the ways that you're cheating, the ways that you're maybe not using full range of motion, you're going too fast, you're not supporting your core. There's lots of different things that you're going to see on video that you otherwise wouldn't. This is far easier to do, obviously, when you're at home. But when you're at the gym, it's no big deal. Don't be embarrassed about filming yourself. Everybody thinks they're an influencer now anyway, so just friggin' film yourself. Who cares? If it's going to give you better results, do it, right? Number 4 is focusing on the number of reps. I've seen this time and time again. And this is especially true when I was working one-on-one with clients. If I told them, or they said, how many reps do I need to do? And I'd say, okay, 12 to 15. Well, they would get to 12 or they would get to 15 and they would just stop. Versus when I would tell them, and here's the deal, they might just stop, but they might had more gas in the tank. So therefore, they're not truly reaching that level of fatigue that needs to happen to break down the muscle fiber. We need to break down the muscle fiber in order for the muscle fiber to build itself up stronger and better, right? So one thing I would do with my clients is I would say, don't worry about, I'll tell you when to stop. And I would just count in my head and I would see okay, now they're on rep 25. So clearly I need to give them heavier weights. You might be doing that yourself. I catch myself doing this, and the way that I will remind myself to break it is I will just say, don't worry about the number. Just go and go and go until your arms are like, I can't do another one. And your form starts to fail. And just see if you can do more than, it depends on what style or what your programming looks like right now. So I share undulating periodization with my Instagram subscribers. And what that means is every 2 months or so, I change up the program. Sometimes we're doing more reps and sometimes we're doing fewer reps, but heavier weight. And that kind of shocks the muscles, and that's how you build muscle. But you don't want to just say, okay, I'm doing fewer reps and pick up the same weight. Like, you really want to focus not on the rep number, but the feeling. And my last and final tip for you is watch your tempo. We are all creatures of habit. The speed that you lift your weights makes a huge difference. You don't even have to go up to a heavier weight if you just slow down your reps. So there's the concentric phase, like the contracting of the muscle, and then there's the elongating or eccentric phase. And when you slow down that eccentric phase, holy cow, you'll know immediately. Slow it down and just change that tempo up. I guarantee that you're in a habit of lifting at a certain speed. And if it's extremely slow and that's what you've been doing forever and ever and ever, I'm going to challenge you to change it up and just speed up your tempo for the next 6 to 8 weeks, just a little bit. I'm always a fan of the eccentric phase being slower than the concentric phase. I personally get better results that way. I personally have seen thousands of people get better results that way who lift at home. But I think that just paying attention to your tempo. The biggest mistake that I see people make when I watch them in the gym today is their tempo is so fast that they're creating momentum, which is making their workout easier. And we want to make our lives easier, but we want to make our workouts a little bit harder so that our workouts can be shorter. Does that make sense? So that we can see results faster. In order to see results faster, you need to create tension in the muscle, right? It's that time under tension that helps us to produce results. And if you want to produce amazing results, consider slowing down the eccentric phase just so that there's no momentum. Like, I can lift 5 times heavier if I swing the weights, if I am not stabilizing the joint that's moving. So there's so many ways that you can make your workout way more effective without having to change anything, without even having to change up your routine, just by improving the tempo at which you lift and slowing things down, especially on that eccentric phase. I think most people will see a pretty big difference in their results. I got a bonus tip for you. And this is just for those of you who are like myself. I am impacted by how I feel, right? So this is going to sound so shallow, but hello, have you met me? When I like my outfit, I get a better workout. When I go to the gym and I'm uncomfortable in what I'm wearing, or I don't feel cute, even when I'm at home and I'm working out in front of the mirror, I always work out in front of the mirror because then you can watch your own form. If I don't like my outfit, I don't get as good of a workout. Call me shallow, but it's a thing. It's a fact, right? Like when you feel good about yourself, you take better care of yourself. You use better form. You probably work out longer. You're more into it. You're thinking about it as opposed to in your head going I hate this outfit, or are these pants see-through? Whatever it is. I don't know why you might not like your outfit, and I'm not telling you to go out and spend more money, because listen, I've got some amazing leggings that I have found on Amazon. And if you are that kind of girl, you're like, oh, I like to look cute when I go to the gym, and I really cannot afford to spend $120 on a pair of leggings. Girl, I am with you. You're going to want to watch this video where I did a review of some of my favorite leggings on Amazon. And a lot of these still hold true. I still order from a lot of these same companies. So I hope that you'll enjoy that one. And lastly, just remember that progress does take patience, but it also requires that you're tracking. You don't know if you've lost progress or made progress unless you're tracking it, right? So don't be afraid to take photos. Don't be afraid to take measurements. But be patient with yourself. Be graceful with yourself. And thanks for listening. Thanks for being here. Thanks for subscribing to the Chalene Show. Love to know what you'd like to hear next. So please do me a favor. Double check and make sure you're subscribed. And as always, I love you. I mean it. And I'll talk to you soon.